Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Carried Away Travels. If you are planning a weekend trip or just a 2-day stopover in San Juan, Puerto Rico, you have come to the right place. During our 8-day road trip around Puerto Rico, we spent a couple awesome days in San Juan, and it really is just the perfect mix of history and culture and island vibes. It is such a great place to explore. And so whether you're coming in for a weekend getaway or maybe a cruise port stop or just spending a couple days here before you too go out and explore the rest of the island, there's just so much you can do at sea. And in case you are a little bit worried, 2 days is plenty of time to try some local food, walk around those gorgeous, colorful streets, check out the historic forts, and even sneak in a little bit of beach time. Plus, San Juan is like the perfect hopping off point to go do some awesome day trips like El Yunque National Forest or go kayaking in a bioluminescent bay, things like that. So you will be able to fit in a lot here. And then if you still have extra time, it's a great base point to go out and explore more. So if you're wondering how to spend 2 days in San Juan, I got you covered with my perfect weekend itinerary with the best things to see, do, and eat. And at the end, I'm also going to give some additional tips on like lodging, FAQs, and things like that. So make sure you watch all the way to the end to get all the information. And real quick before we officially dive in, if this is your first time here, I'm Carrie. Thank you so much for stopping by. I make videos with helpful travel tips, itineraries, gear recommendations, and more so you can always have the perfect trip. My goal with every video is to give you all the essential information you need to decide whether a hotel or a destination or an itinerary or activity is the right fit for you so you come away with maximum enjoyment and minimum stress. So if that sounds like the kind of content you want more of in your feed, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button before you forget and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Now, if you're just starting your vacation planning and you're trying to pick out a destination in general, you might be wondering why San Juan is even worth a visit. Well, first of all, it is incredibly accessible. It has an airport with plenty of direct flights. It is also a cruise port with a lot of ships stopping in here. So it is a very easy place to get in and out of. And especially with flights, you can get incredible deals from mainland USA and be in Puerto Rico within a couple of hours. But beyond the convenience factor, San Juan is just such an awesome place. Yes, a lot of it is touristy, which might be exactly what you're looking for, but there is still plenty of authenticity to be found in the city, and it's just this treasure trove of history and culture and food, music, and then you have these cobblestone streets and Spanish forts, live salsa music, and just so many colorful buildings that you're literally going to want to photograph every second of your trip. So if that sounds like the kind of place you want to visit, let's go ahead and talk about an ideal 2-day itinerary. So in the morning of day 1, you have to start out by walking through the colorful streets of Old San Juan. And when I say they're colorful, it is just this rainbow of colors down every street on this gorgeous old architecture. It is such a beautiful sight. Every street you turn down is just absolutely photogenic. It is so wonderful. You'll find tons of rainbow-colored colonial buildings, cathedrals, plenty of shops. Some of my favorite spots were Calle de la Fortaleza, Plaza Colón, and Paseo de la Princesa. All of those were really pretty and had a lot to see and do. And just a pro tip here, if you are driving your own car, which we'll talk about a little bit later, I would recommend parking at either Bayaja Parking Garage or La Puntilla, which are both pretty affordable options and close to all the action. Next, you're gonna head up to Castillo San Felipe del Morro, which is a 16th century Spanish fortress that used to guard the bay from invaders. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site that you can explore for just $10, along with a number of other different sites in the area. You pay $10, you can visit all of them, and you really only need like 2 to 3 hours here. It is a huge fortress. There's a lot to read, but if you don't want to read everything, you can actually speedrun this in about an hour, hour and a half. But I do recommend you take your time because there's just so much to see here, from dungeons to triangular staircases beaches, these stunning rooftop views, and the really cool architecture all around it. So it is a really fun one to just take your time and explore. After you finish up at the fort, you definitely need to stop for some coffee and pastries in town. There are so many different little cafes and places you can check out, but I personally loved the Mavi Old San Juan because of its quirky seating upstairs, and they had a really good coffee, and Cafe Estaciones for their pastries. You have to try the quesitos. They're fantastic. And after you've had a little pick-me-up, this is a perfect time to actually do some shopping and stock up on souvenirs now that you don't need your hands free for the morning. For dinner time, you definitely have to check out Juana La Loca. This was the very first meal we had in San Juan, and it was one of my favorite from the entire trip. It is such a cool, quirky restaurant. They do have live music on the weekends. On a weeknight, we had it pretty much to ourselves, but everything was so delicious. And I definitely recommend the Montaditas de Alcaparilla and the truffle parm fries. They were just absolutely top notch. Afterward, burn off some of those calories with a nighttime walk along Paseo del Morro to see San Juan Gate and the city all lit up at night. It is just such a magical way to end your first night. On day 2, kick things off with breakfast at Café Conron. This is a little hole-in-the-wall restaurant that rumor has it is owned by Bad Bunny. Not confirmed, but that has turned it into a little bit more of a popular spot. We grabbed a tripleta and a Mallorca grilled cheese there and some coffee. Absolutely fantastic. We were so full and the food was so good. So that's just a perfect way to start your day. After that, it's decision time. You can choose whether to do the beaches or the museums depending on what side of San Juan you want to see. You can technically do a little bit of both if you like. Just make sure you're prepared for one, the other, or both, and it could depend on weather as well. If you do want some sun and sand, Isla Verde and Condado beaches are great picks, or you can head to Balneario El Escambron for some snorkeling. If you are more of a museum person, I would recommend you try Museo de las Americas or Museo de San Juan for art and culture. But if you are a book lover like me, you definitely need to check out La Casa del Libro, which has rare books dating back to the 15th century. No matter how you choose to explore, when the afternoon rolls around, it is time for some more delicious Puerto Rican food. And I would recommend that you take a foodie tour. You can find options for these on both Get Your Guide or Viator, but this is just such a fun way to taste some amazing local dishes while getting a more in-depth tour around Old San Juan. And if that doesn't sound like your cup of tea, just grab a casual lunch. There are so many great and popular spots to check out. We ate at Restaurant Bar en China, which is most well known for inventing the piña colada, and Daniel really enjoyed his salmon, and I really liked their mixed frituras appetizer. But if you want some other options, La Garita, Casita Miramar, and Santa Ella are all really popular as well. And for your last night, you definitely need to book a salsa dancing class by the water. This is such a fun and unforgettable experience to wrap up your time in San Juan. You can book these starting at $19 per person for an hour. They are beginner friendly, and that's just such a perfect taste of island life. And then as the evening goes on, you need to take those skills over to La Factoria, which is a super popular nightlife spot in San Juan. It's very labyrinth-like. It has a bunch of different rooms, each with a different theme, but one of the most lively and popular rooms is the salsa room, and you will find people there all night long dancing to salsa music. So you can take those new skills and you can join in and just wrap up your time in San Juan by literally dancing the night away. All right, if you do have some more time to spend in Puerto Rico and you want to go beyond San Juan, or maybe on day 2 you're not really feeling the crowded beaches or museum and you want an adventure, there are some really cool day trips that you can actually take from San Juan as well. Some of my personal favorites include hiking in El Yunque National Rainforest, the Luquillo kiosks, and a bioluminescent kayaking tour over in Fajardo. Each of those are less than 2 hours away, closer to like an hour, hour and a half. So it's very easy to get there and back. If you want more of an all-day adventure, you have to check out Toro Verde, which is like a zip line adventure park with just some amazing activities you can do, very unique ones, and even some Guinness World Record breaking activities. So those are all fantastic options you can easily add on and still spend your night in San Juan. Now, one thing about staying in San Juan is that it can get really, really pricey, especially compared to other parts of the island. And if you are staying in Old San Juan, those resorts and hotels can really add up, which if you're only there for a couple nights might not be a big deal to you. But if you are a little more budget conscious, or you really want to make sure that you're pouring money back into the local economy and not some big name mainland brands, I would recommend you check out Airbnb. That's actually what we did, and we were able to stay in this adorable little suite on private property. It was all fenced in. They had like a little community kitchen and garden areas out front, and then we had our own private little suite. The entryway had a big mirror and bench seating, and we could hang up a hammock in there, which was so nice. And then our room was just so cute and cozy. I thought they did a great job with it, and it did mean we had to drive like 14 minutes to get to Old San Juan, but it was a lot more affordable and I felt better about where my money was going. Now let's talk about some quick travel tips for visiting San Juan. First of all, you should definitely decide whether you want to rent a car or just walk around. If you are staying in Old San Juan, I would not recommend renting a car. For starters, the city infrastructure was not made for vehicles, so the streets are very narrow, and what ends up happening is you're driving down these already narrow streets, and there are cars parked, lined up all along one or both sides. It is just a very tight squeeze, and it can be very, very stressful. So if you're already staying in Old San Juan, I really wouldn't recommend you get a car. We booked one because we were spending 8 days road tripping around the island, so it made sense. If that's what you're doing as well, it might make sense to rent a car or just pick one up the day you actually leave San Juan. Ubers are readily available, and once you're in San Juan, it is so walkable. Like, you need to walk around to really experience it. So keep that in mind. Also, depending on where you stay, they might not have parking for a car. So those are all things to consider before you go ahead and just book one. You are also going to want to pack light, breathable clothes and good walking shoes. Puerto Rico is a tropical destination. It does get very, very hot. So you want clothes that are going to dry quickly and stay cool and breezy. Athleisure wear is a fantastic option. And then shoes with good support. There are a lot of cobblestone streets and such as well. So I wouldn't recommend you go around in your cute heels or sandals unless it's, maybe you're dressed up for dinner. So just be smart about how you pack. And in good news, the tourist areas are very safe and well patrolled. We saw a lot of police officers around, but there are some areas you really should avoid. Like La Perla is one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the entire island, and tourists go there all the time. And it is a really, really bad idea. It looks fun, but the locals know you do not go there. So just be aware of where you are. Do some research before you visit to know where to stay away from. And like any place else, make sure you keep an eye on your belongings. I would not recommend you leave anything valuable in your car if you do have one. Keep an eye on your purse. Don't be flashing valuables around. Just travel smart, and that'll help you have a good and incident-free trip. So there you have it, your perfect weekend itinerary for San Juan, Puerto Rico. From historic forts and colorful streets to amazing food and cultural experiences, you can pack in so much into just 48 hours in San Juan, especially since everything is just so close together. So you can really have quite the whirlwind vacation here if you want to, and you will have so much fun. Now, I personally recommend that if you can at all, you get out of San Juan and see more of Puerto Rico. San Juan is a fantastic short stopover, great for tourists, very easily accessible. But if you like nature and adventure travel, snorkeling, hiking, waterfalls, rainforest, mountains, zip lines, you name it, You can find that all around the rest of the island. Like I said, we did an 8-day road trip around Puerto Rico. I just released a video a couple weeks ago with our full itinerary for that, and it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. I've been to Costa Rica, Ecuador, Mexico, lots of other Latin American countries with beautiful like rainforests and things like that. And what Puerto Rico had to offer was right up there with the best of it. It was insane. So I cannot recommend enough that if you can spare the time, you go explore the rest of this beautiful island and get an even more authentic taste of Puerto Rican culture and what the island has. It is just so amazing. So definitely check out that video if you're interested. I also have a video of things to know before you visit Puerto Rico, just practical tips about planning your trip. If you are renting a car, speaking Spanish, things like that that you should know, I would highly recommend that you check out that video as well. And I always have a full written blog post to go along with each video, including this one. So if you would rather read that information, if it's a little easier to reference and save for later, definitely go check out my website at www.cochranwriting.com. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, save it for later, share it with your Puerto Rico travel buddies, and feel free to drop any questions or comments down below. I love to hear from you guys, so don't be shy. Thank you once again for watching, and until next time, happy travels.